Is it working? Yes. Thank you. Hello, everybody. I have a little bit of an accent, but I think you'll understand what I have to say. It dates back actually to when my parents owned a bed and breakfast in England. I was born there, raised there, and she was also a registered nurse and a midwife. So a lot of the cooking and the baking came upon my shoulders, even as a young person. And I think that's where I began to really enjoy cooking, baking, catering, all of that, the culinary aspect of the career. I eventually moved to the United States, married a wonderful man from South Carolina, and I've lived here ever since. I go back to England often. I have family there. My husband has been an influence on my career in owning a business. I owned a tea room in Virginia Beach. He was an officer in the Marine Corps, and I opened up a tea room in Virginia Beach, which wasn't as challenging as you would think because of the Norfolk Naval Base. There were a lot of Scottish ladies that were married to men from Holylock up in Scotland. So a lot of British people came to my tea room in Virginia Beach. When my husband retired, we moved to Central Virginia. And I worked actually at Sweetwater College for 10 years as the catering manager and learned a lot more from that as well. Catering manager and director of the Inn and the Conference Center, so a lot of hospitality getting involved in that. I then decided, well, let me put on some teas at Sweetwater College and see how that goes. We had to turn people away. It was amazing that so many people were interested in a British afternoon tea. So what did I think? Maybe Lynchburg was another area that I needed to open a tea room. I was a little dubious about it because obviously not as many British people in this area, but an amazing amount of wonderful people that actually embraced me when I opened the tea room 7 years ago on Commerce Street. It has been hugely successful. I've just expanded into another room to enable private parties like baby showers and bridal showers, and we do a set meal for that, and so on and so forth. I think moving here to Lynchburg was a great help for me in that I understand that women, I think, have a much more hard life opening their own business because they've also got family ties, they've got a house to run, they've got all of that to do. So it's a double thing for you. I am at the tea room probably 6-7 days a week sometimes, so it's very involved. I love it. Every time I get up and go to work, it's because I love to go, and that's what has to be in your mind when you open a business of any kind, is that you love what you're doing. You absolutely enjoy the work that you do. And on your way to work, it's like, I'm enjoying this. Going home at night, it's like, that was a good day. I'm especially pleased because I meet so many fabulous people in the tea room that are very curious about Britain and about the British food that I serve. It's different. I do employ many students from all 4 of the colleges. It's an amazing time to have a student work for me because I can mold them into what I'm wanting them to do. It's a little different than working at a regular restaurant because all the food is I have a Bible in the kitchen, which is the recipe Bible, and you better stick by it because that's what makes it different. Sometimes you have to have a little bit of a gimmick, to make things work. Not always, but sometimes when you go into your own business, if it's a small mom and pop business, you do have to have a little bit of a cliche, to make it work. And I think that's what's helped me in my business. I think the only downfall I feel with having students is that I lose them so often. I mean, they graduate, they're gone for the summer, they're gone at Christmas time, and I'm floundering. Like, what do I do? 4 or 5 of my students are gone, but they're amazing people to work with. So I can only imagine how it would be for any of you to get into a business on your own because you're dedicated. I mean, you're just dedicated young people. I love working with students. When I was in Virginia Beach, I did have several Scottish ladies work for me, and they were bossy and they were trying to tell me what to do. You know, students don't do that. You know, they're just soaking it all in. You know, and loving it. So I wish all of you so much luck if you decide to go into business on your own. It could only be for the good of this country and this world. Thank you. Can you hear me?
So, my name is Sheila Moore, and just to let you know, I don't know anything about engineering, so I hope nobody's really disappointed about that. My whole career has been in the information systems department. I did have a title one time of software engineer. That was the closest I ever got to what most folks think of as an engineer. But I did work for a company, that's considered an engineering company. But to clarify, information systems, we call it IS versus IT. Some people call it IT. The difference is 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 working with the software, where IT would be working with the infrastructure and servers, which I also know nothing about. So my story may be a little bit different. I am a country girl, local down the road from Appomattox. I've lived there all my life, and I also have an accent, but it's not quite as sexy as that. So my story, I also think I learned so much from my parents. I grew up on a dairy farm, and I had 3 older brothers, and so we all, when we were home, we worked on the farm. And I like to say that my first job was at age 12, and I know there are laws against that, but this job was not really in public, and my job was to cook breakfast. My mother had to help milk the cows for a period of time because something happened to Harry. And so I became the breakfast cook. And an obstacle with that was I didn't know how to cook. So with a lot of trial and error and patience from my parents, and then eating a lot of burned food and not very good food, I think I became a decent cook. My second job was also on the dairy farm. And I guess I would say that first job was like an unpaid internship. My second job I actually got paid for. And I was in high school, a junior in high school. And I wanted to get contacts. And that was many years ago, and a pair of contacts was $400 if they had just come out. And so I asked my parents, could I get contacts? They said, sure, if you earn the money, you can get them. So they hired me, and I became I had a job milking the cows. So just imagine you're a junior in high school, and my job was only on weekends. I had to get up at 5:30 in the morning and milk cows. And of course, I was out late the night before. So that was hard work, but I did earn the money for my other contacts, and I learned a lot of work ethic, a lot of determination and dedication, and that I could add value. There was a job there that I could add value to. So then I had to decide. I was definitely going to college, a question in my family, but there was no predetermined. You'll go to a certain school or you'll be a certain thing. It was all up to me. They encouraged me to do something I enjoyed. And so I went to my guidance counselor, and I didn't know how to choose a career, but she gave me a diagram that showed the highest paying jobs, and I said, okay, I want one at the top. So that was accountant. So I came to CVCC. My first semester, I was studying accounting, and at the end of the first semester, I said, this is not fun. I don't enjoy this, and I was raised to have fun and enjoy life and work hard. So I switched to computer science, and that's where I've been ever since, basically. So when I graduated, the year I graduated, I got my first job. It was called BNW then. We've evolved, and I went to Ariba. But that year, I got my first job. I got married. I got my first car. I'm pretty excited year. And while I was at CVCC in computer science, they offered a summer program. You could go through the summer instead of getting a summer job or laying on the beach or whatever. You take classes, and in the summer, you got an extra certificate in computer operations. So I said, heck, why not? I live in Appomattox, there's nothing else exciting going on. So I did that. And actually, my first job that I got was in computer operations. And I believe I got it because I had taken the time to get that extra certification. So over the next few years, I had 2 children. I worked full time as a computer operator. And then after a few years, I moved into bachelor's, we had bachelor's degrees and master's degrees, and I only had, this associate degree from CVCC. So I felt a little inadequate, although none of my employers ever made me feel that way. That was something I put on myself. But I felt like I needed to try harder than everybody else. I needed to work harder, and I did that. And I was always taking extra classes, learning new things, volunteering for things nobody else wanted to do. And I was recognized for that and given opportunities to move throughout our information systems department and up through the various levels. So an operator is like the lowest level, and then you become a developer or software engineer, and then you advance to a software analyst. And all of these jobs, when I was given the opportunity, I didn't really know how to do it. Someone felt like that I had the skills and that I had the desire, so they gave me the opportunity to do that. So that was quite a lot of fun because I always liked learning new things, and I get bored if I have to do the same thing very long. I always want the bigger picture in a company, so not focused on a small area, but let me learn more about what's going on here. So eventually I was offered a job in management, managing this department that I had been in for years. And the great thing about all the prior roles I had was I didn't have to talk to anybody. So I could sit in my little cubicle and I could write my programs, or I could talk to my neighbor. Every now and then I might talk to someone in the business who we called customers. But I was very introverted, very shy. I never had to get up and talk in front of people and rarely had to talk to many people at all. But to be in management, you had to talk in front of a lot of people. And I was terribly afraid, and to this day, it's not my favorite thing to do. You probably tell I'm a little nervous. So they felt like I could do that management job. I felt like I could do it, but I had to go into a series of more training, learn how to be a public speaker, learn how to be a leader, just continuously trying to learn new things. I was with Muriel at Lynchburg Leadership. I was telling her that was one of my first leadership training, and I learned a lot from that. So, there was an obstacle in that management role that I put on myself. Like, I'm terrified of speaking in front of people. No, I don't get to just sit in my little office anymore and just worry about myself. Now I have to be responsible for other people when they do everything else. So some of my obstacles have been self-inflicted, but I think I've grown and through training and get past them. After a few years managing people here regionally, I was given the opportunity for a global management role. I had people under me that were in France and Germany. And so it was quite exciting. I got to travel often and go to those places and work on big global projects. And so I would say the biggest obstacle or the most difficult time of my life was in that job. So management decided we didn't need as many global managers. And so I was no longer traveling, and I was just back to having a regional role. And that was a really sad time for me in my career. I was a little mad. I was mad now, but I was a little mad. I was sad. And I was really bored. And boredom was not something that kids did. Because remember, I grew up on a dairy farm. We were always busy, either working or playing or fishing or something. So boredom was not one of my strengths. So I started to look around within Ariba because I love the comment. I want to leave the comment. So what can I do? What can I learn? What can I do new now so that I'm just not back to doing what I was doing a few years ago? So I got involved with Lean Six Sigma. I got my rebound certification. I got involved with Land Nuclear. I had some officer positions. And magically, I'm not sure exactly how I became president. And that's where I am today. So I got past that obstacle, that difficult time in my life where I felt I wasn't needed, I didn't have skills, I had done big things and fun things and traveled the world, and now I just was traveling around the United States. But I would just say, I think one of my keys to my success has been a lifelong. I'm always trying to learn something new. Even now, in a few years I'm going to be retired, I'm trying to figure out what am I going to study so I can figure out what I'm going to do when I grow up. But my advice to you is just never give up. I recently read a book called Grit to Great. If you ever get a chance to read that book, there's a great quote in it that said, if they ask you to do it, they already know that you can. And that's sort of been my theme in my career. Many times I was asked to do things that I didn't think I
Vivian Brown, and I am the Branch Administration Officer, First National Bank. And I know that's what is a Branch Administration Officer? Well, as a Branch Administration Officer, I do a lot of things and wear a lot of different hats. I run the retail division. And what that means is that everyone in the branch either reports directly to me or indirectly to me. I'm involved with their hiring, coaching, mentoring, disciplinary action. I have to create new innovative product lines, and right now I'm working on enhancing our website. Now when I say I mean me and my team, not just me. I also run the small business division, and what that is I have business officers who go out and call on small businesses. I help them and teach them how to underwrite loans, what to look for, what a good loan structure is. And then the last hat I wear is I run the marketing department. So if you see a First National commercial or billboard or radio ad or newspaper ad, all of that is me. So I wear a lot of different hats, and I truly love that because I stay totally busy. Before you know it, it's 5 o'clock and I just started my day. So I love what I'm doing. But let me tell you a little bit about how I got there. First, I started my education right here at CVCC. So I earned my associates from here. So this is a great place for everyone to start. Then I earned my bachelor's from AFRED. And it's always good to go on and get higher education because that's something that will help you, and it helped me really as I moved along in my career. I have always been career oriented, and even before I got married, I worked for a company that some of you know called Sears, and I ran their maintenance agreement office, and I had a group of people that reported to me. But then, like Patty, I fell in love with and married a man in the military, and you go where your heart leads you. My father thought, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. I never thought she'd get married. She is so career-oriented. But I did. And during that time, my husband and I transferred to 3 different bases. It was extremely hard for me being career-oriented. What that meant for me is that each transfer, as he grew in rank, I had to step back in a position. So I would go to a base. I would get hired, I would get promoted, and then we would get orders. And I did that 3 times. Finally, his final assignment, and we knew it was going to be his final assignment, was in Hampton Roads. And I thought, this is truly exciting. It's close to Lynchburg, which is home. We're just 3 hours down the road. We can go visit the parents on the weekends. This is where we can retire from. I was so excited when we got that assignment because I knew I could really now start my career and end up retiring from where I started at. I was hired at a bank that's no longer here through mergers and acquisitions, but a great bank, into their management intern program. I had to start all over again through a management intern program, but within 6 months I was promoted to manager. Really excited there. After that, they said, okay, Vivian, we've got an assignment for you. We want you to be our troubleshooter manager. We've got different locations throughout Hampton Roads that are having issues. We need you to go in as a manager, train, educate, coach, get people up to speed, and get a new manager in. And I thought, wow, this is phenomenal. I want to do that. I had managed offices in Williamsburg, Hampton, Newport News, and I was able to go in and get teams up and going and motivated. Well, my husband, we're getting close to retirement. I'm talking about other things that I can do within the bank and how I can advance my career from troubleshooting. And he comes and says, you know, I'd like to go home to Lynchburg. And I'm like, Lynchburg? This is Hampton Roads. I've got a great deal going on here in Hampton Roads. And he goes, well, you know, our parents are aging. It's a great opportunity. I have an opportunity with Lynchburg City Schools, and I'd really like to do that. And I'm thinking, okay, one more time. But as I thought about that, and I thought, okay, I could transfer. I mean, actually, when he went down and was offered the position, I worked for a wonderful bank. They sent me down. I met the president of the Lynchburg area who offered me a job on the spot as an assistant branch manager. He said, we'd love to have you here. We talked. My husband and I drove around Lynchburg thinking, where will we buy, what will we do? And then when I got back to Hampton Roads, I sat down and I said, Howard, I know this is something you want to do, and I think it's a good thing for us to do. But in Lynchburg, back in that time, which was 1996, there were no African American bank managers. There were no African American women in finance in any type of position like I was at. And I thought, okay, we're going to Lynchburg. That ends my career. I'll be an assistant branch manager, but I'll be happy. So we made the move. We had to make the move. It was really the right thing to do to come back home, and it's what we wanted to do. And I got in and I sort of resigned to myself that, okay, we're in Lynchburg. It's 1996. It's not Hampton Roads, but that's okay. But I loved finance. I loved banking. I loved coaching. I loved developing people. Well, would you know, within 6 months, I was managing the branch that I was the assistant branch manager of. I was the first African-American branch manager of that in this area, which was truly exciting for me. What that means for you is you don't give up. You stay passionate to whatever your beliefs are, whatever you want to do, and you go from there. I was totally excited with that. And I loved the job that I was doing. Then one day we got the announcement that our bank was merging with another company, another bank, a larger bank. Well, I did my job. I'm very competitive. I love competition, friendly competition, and I always want to be number one at what I did. So my team was always number one. I was appointed through the merger and acquisition as a management leader for 20 branches. I managed branches from Covington to Lexington to Clarksville, Amherst, Chase City. I was on the road all the time. But the bank grew and it became extremely large. And my heart was really in community banks. I love being able to make local decisions. So when First National came and knocked on the door and said, hey, we have an opportunity for you, but you got to trust us because we're hiring you as a retail banking development officer. And I said, well, what is that? Well, we want you to go out and develop and bring in business. Okay, so who do I get to coach and develop? Yourself. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm starting all over again. But then I thought, you know, in order for me to do anything else at the bank that I was at, I would have to move. My husband was here, our family was here. We were not about to move to Atlanta for me to advance in my career. So I thought, you know, I've moved many times before. Let me go ahead and do this. So I did. I took the leap of faith and went back to the community bank, which was where my heart was, where I could make local decisions. And here I am today, running their retail division, running the marketing division, and running the small business division, reporting directly to the CEO and to the board of directors. So what that tells you is you've got to find something that you love. And no matter what obstacles are put in front of you, don't look at them as obstacles. Look at them as challenges. I don't have obstacles that I am aware of. I get up in the morning and yes, there's 20 or 30 things that need to be done. Well, they all will not get done that day. I prioritize and I say, what challenge do I want to conquer first? And what challenge will I conquer tomorrow? Or what challenge can I delegate to someone? So I just want to leave you with two things. First, like I said, pick a career path that you have a passion for. And then second, what I want you to do is just remember, you've always got to work hard to succeed. Nothing will be handed to you. And if something is handed to you, you are still going to have to prove yourself if you want to keep it. Thank you.
Thank you. These ladies are so like they have notes as I jot down things. I'm Trinae Tweedy, and I serve as Vice Mayor of Lynchburg. So for those who live in the city, I'm an at-large person. I'm also Senior Director of Workforce and Community Engagement for Goodwill Industries of the Valleys, as you read. I started kind of from a place of not probably being the person you would think to be in this position. I grew up in Rivermont. My parents, my dad was a welder. My mom worked on the factory line, and they didn't pursue higher education. They just worked really hard, and I saw them get up and go to work every day. So I saw that work ethic in my house, but my dad always told me to get an education. He said, once you get it up here, no one can take it away. And so that's kind of the underlying thing that drives me to always kind of keep learning and to keep using my experiences. So I attended Lynchburg City Schools, graduated from Glass. Wasn't the best student, you know, I was okay. I could have worked harder, again, hard work. I could have worked harder to get those grades. And I wanted to go into home interior decorating. Why? Because I had a great home ec teacher who I loved color, I loved texture, I loved the ideas, splashing stuff, creating rooms. And my dad said, I am not paying money for you to go to design school somewhere in Philadelphia or Georgia, because at the time, those were where design schools were, if you look. And I said, no. I said, well, I don't want to do the traditional college route. So he said, well, you better figure out something. It's not going to be design school. So I said, okay. I wonder could I have been on HGTV though. I looked at kind of where they were and where we'd come, and I said, I don't want to put out a lot of money either. My dad had been in the Navy. So I decided to go on my own and talk to the Navy recruiter, and I said, Dad, I think I want to do the Navy. And my mom was like, oh my Lord. Because I was an only child. So all of a sudden, this only child that had gotten through high school wants to then go into the military. And I said Navy, why? Because I wanted to travel. So when you make decisions, make it based on what you like to do and sometimes what your passion is, and it will benefit you, I'm telling you. And so that's how I got into the Navy. I served as a Navy journalist, went to boot camp, went through Defense Information School, Communications and Marketing, learned public relations, community engagement, and got stationed aboard a ship. So I was the journalist on that ship with a couple of other people in our communications department. Lived with 1,100 people, again, an only child. So I lived in a room, not even half the size, 1/4 with like 112 women or something. We all, you know, in that room together. On a ship, again with 1,100 people, promoting messaging, television, radio on that ship. So I got out of the Navy, decided to come home. I got married, I had kids, I had 3 children who are now adults, and I said, I've got to go back to school. So I started here at CVCC, and then I continued into Lynchburg College, and I earned a bachelor's degree in English. So I utilized my experiences of communications, public relations. I always loved to read, always loved talking to people, spelling and putting ideas together and writing. And so the English degree helped kind of cap off my public relations experience. I didn't want to go into the classroom and teach. For whatever reason, I didn't want to be in your classroom. I don't like walls. I don't like to be contained, if you would. So that's why you learn along life. Like, I lived in the berth or in the bottom of the ship, and it's something about like being contained in small spaces. So I don't like cubicle life. I worked for an insurance company. I learned that. I don't like cubicle life. So I have to be out with people. I have to talk to them. That's what drives my work. And the communications and the building of community that I do. And so then I got my degree from English, and I went to work for an insurance company. I worked for Lynchburg College for a while, and then someone said, hey, there's a public information officer job for Lynchburg City Schools. So, you know, why didn't you interview the first time we were looking for me? I said, I didn't know, you didn't call me. So I went to an interview, and that's where I started the idea of communicating across the city. I'm the lady who called when snow came and, you know, we were closed for the day. So that was my introduction into learning about organizations, being a media liaison and working with community groups and parents and just kind of building relationships across the city. So then I started working with a family business, which was a mentoring business, and helping to build that. And school board position came open, and some folks said, so I quit city schools job, went to working with a business, and then some folks said, hey, there's a school board position open, so why don't you do that? You volunteer with schools, you know the information, and you know people, and you know the community. I said, sure, okay. So that's how I ended up on the school board for 6 years. I did that work, and then got a little family situation changed. I went through a divorce, and I tell people it's really crazy because I announced my campaign on Monday night and went to divorce court on Tuesday. Speak about resiliency, okay? And I tell people that now. I used to kind of hold it, you know, to me, but we have obstacles and things that come up and challenges, and you have to learn to push beyond sometimes the way you feel and what things look like to still reach goals. And so that's what I've done over time, and that's why I tell people I have some hard skin for politics. But I never lose focus of what I'm trying to do. I learned a new term recently, human infrastructure, because I think the reason I'm on council now is because I said I want to affect things at a greater level of policy and of budget making and decision making and helping give some lead ideas to see where we can take communities. And so I decided to run a campaign. Again, family had never been in politics and I didn't know what to do. But I just said, I know I have enough marketing experience. I know that people at least know my name, and I'll have to get over asking people for money because campaign in politics, you need money. So I had to raise, my goal was $30,000. I raised about $20,000. Those who ran with me, they raised about $30,000 or so. And you know, I just used my experience, again, that marketing, communications, messaging, to kind of make up the difference of that 10,000 or so. I had everything that my running mates had with commercials and billboards and mailers, everything. And so, but I love working with people. I feel like you utilize everything you do. Another thing I did, at 16, I worked at Long John Silver's. That helped me learn how to work with people in customer service. It also taught me those things that you're going to learn along the way that you don't like to do. I had managers who left me, well, they let people go on break. I was running the register, I was dishing fish, I was cleaning tables, I was serving the food. And then one of the managers told a relative who worked there the next day, said, you know, Trinae was here, but I don't know what she really did. That just made me say, I will never work for you again. So I washed my uniform, folded it up, took it up to the manager and said, since you didn't know what I did yesterday, you won't know what I'm doing tomorrow. And gave it to them, and I've not worked in a restaurant since, because I realized if I can work this hard and you're not going to appreciate me for that, I'm not saying restaurant jobs, we need service industry jobs, service sector jobs, we need it all to make it work. But you have to realize what you like and what you value and who values you and how you value the work you do and what you give to that company or that business. That's what's important. And so, you know, I learned early the things I liked, didn't like, and so that's how I ended up on council. I ran the campaign. Now I work for workforce development with Goodwill Industries of the Valleys. Love it because it combines all the passions I have of working with people, of helping people get towards self-sufficiency, creating pathways for folks of education, whether it's coming through CVCC or local training providers, to get certifications and certificates of industry. And for women, I tell women, do the non-traditional careers. They are paying, and that's what you want. When you look at your family, you want to be able to take care of them, your kids, your grandkids in the future. You want to have home ownership. You want to think of all these things. Have a lot of balls rolling at one time. It's not okay. You know, you can focus on those things, achieve short-term goals, long-term goals, but make sure you have a plan that puts you where you want to be. Like she said, she realized where the money was. You know, she's like, I maybe need to get there. It's not a bad thing to keep it at the forefront. As women, I think we always take care of other people, and we don't always look at our own plans and our own value and understand that we bring a lot to the table at any table we sit at. And so you have to take all of your experiences, work together with that. I love my job. I work with community agencies. I get to go out and talk to people about industry sector stuff. As vice mayor, I get to help shape some of that human infrastructure. We work on pipes, we work on buildings, we have a lot of construction, as you know, going on in Lynchburg. But we have to have a quality of life in the city. We have to have people that love to go to work here, that love to play in our city, live in neighborhoods that they feel safe and secure, and everything's functioning. So as a council member, I like to do that. So I tell everyone, if you care about community, always give back to it and help be a builder for that community and not just a consumer or so. Thank you.
I'm Dot Richardson, and I am loud. When I was a little girl, I knew that God had given me a gift in athletics. I knew it because I loved it so much. So my question to you is, what do you love? What is a gift or gifts you know the Lord has given you? And you know it because you just feel it. You feel alive doing it. Even now, I see a ball. If I got to bounce it, I got to throw it, I got to kick it, I can hit it. I mean, I just feel alive being moving. But there was one problem when you talk about obstacles. When I was a little girl, girls were not allowed to be athletic. They weren't supposed to be. They were not allowed to play on any organized team. So I had to watch my brothers play basketball, baseball, all the games, soccer, and I was better than them. But I never got to play on an organized team. Now the boys didn't have a problem with it, society did, but the boys didn't. Because after school, I was the first person they picked to be on whatever team it was. But I was not allowed to play. And when I'd say my prayers at night, I'd ask the Lord, why did you give me such talent with no opportunity? In your life, you're going to ask yourself that question. Not just once, maybe many times. Why isn't it easier? Why didn't I get that job? How come this is happening to me? Blah, 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 blah. Okay? Here's the thing. Trust. Trust the Lord with the gifts you have, because they're meant to be shared. And I'm going to tell you how I know that. My brother got a brand new catcher's mitt, and he wanted to break it in right before his Little League baseball game. Remember, I can't play Little League. I'm a girl. Didn't matter how good I was. I'm a girl. Well, who did he ask to break in the brand new catcher's mitt? Yours truly. So as I'm firing this baseball to break in my brother's new catcher's mitt, I'm imagining a Major League Baseball pitcher. I can't even play Little League. But I'm imagining I'm a Major League Baseball pitcher. Big dreams, ladies. Big dreams, don't settle. Next thing you know, this coach comes running off the field. Wow, you got a great arm. How would you like to play on my Little League Baseball team? Yes! My dreams are coming true. I'm going to play Little League Baseball, and then I'm going to become a Major League Baseball pitcher. And then he looked at me in practically the same breath. He said, well, we're going to have to cut your hair really short and give you a boy's name. We're going to call you Bob. In your life, if it hasn't happened yet, it's going to happen. Where you're going to want something so badly, or a relationship, or whatever it might be. But in order to have it, you're going to have to compromise with your morals, and with your beliefs, and of who you are. I looked at him and I said, sir, thank you, but no thank you. If I have to hide who I am, I don't believe it's right. But that was my dream, I thought. I leave, and I find a friend of mine, Sunday Brown. And I said, hey, you want to play catch? Baseball catch is all I knew at this time in my life. Sure. As we're playing baseball catch, 30 minutes later from turning down this opportunity, this other coach comes running up to me. Wow, you got a great arm. Do you have a minute to talk to the head coach? And I was like, sure. And as I'm going from right field towards first base, I'm thinking, deja vu. Can this really be happening to me? 30 minutes apart. Well, as I'm walking towards the infield, I look, and they're not boys now, they're women. As I rounded home, heading to third base, out from the third base dugout, came the head coach. It wasn't a man, it was a woman. And this had surprised me to this point in my life. My dad was in the Air Force, we traveled a lot. And here we are, oh my gosh, there's a woman head coach. She said, have you ever played softball before? No, what is it? Oh, it's just like baseball, but the ball's a little bigger. Take a few ground balls at third base. And as I'm fielding the ball and firing into first base, I feel like I belong. You know what's right, and you know what's wrong. I encourage you to follow and act on what feels right. Well, she calls me over. How would you like to be on my fast pitch softball team? Yes! My prayers are kind, the ball's a little bigger, but yes! And then she said, how old are you anyway? And when I told her I was 10 years old, she almost died. The average age of that team was 22. So we went and talked to my mom and dad, and they said yes, I could play. So I made my first fast pitch softball team at 10 years of age, and I played third, and I was the leadoff batter. So those of you that don't know sports, it's fun, okay? Now, I wanted to open my time with you with that little story, because that is what I learned in my life, a valuable lesson. We do not have to hide who we are. Each of us are different for a reason and for a purpose. You look at this panel, we are all different. The sport of softball teaches us, hey, I'm 5'4.5". When you're short, you say hi. I've had teammates that are 6'4". I can't do what they can do, but they can't do what I can do. Each of us have our role. I get a ground ball and I have to fire the ball, and guess what? I've done all I can. I refuse to be the weakest link. I'm making sure I'm ready for the team. It's all about community. It's all about society, making a difference in the world. But my teammate has to finish the deal. She's got to catch it too. So finish. Be strong. Set big goals. Well, 2 years later, I won't go through that whole story, but I became the youngest girl ever to play women's major league softball. And I also have learned 2 things from that incident. One, God has a sense of humor. How do I know it? I married a Bob. What are the odds? That guy wanted to call me Bob and I married a Bob. Okay, that's okay. The other thing is this. You may not know this, but I'm a 2-time Olympic gold medalist in softball. And after the first Olympics, my agent called me and he said, the Yankees want you to throw out the first pitch at the World Series. And I had to turn it down. I'll tell you why in a minute. But next thing you know, I was around the guys and they were like, what's going on? Talk about the World Series. And they were like, why didn't you do it? I said, because I'm here with you. And they're like, come on, you can go. So I called my agent, and here's how I know God has a sense of humor, and he delivers. In front of 60,000 people at the World Series in Atlanta, I threw out the first pitch. And I had that moment reflecting as a 10-year-old to be an out Major League Baseball pitcher. And as I fired that one Major League Baseball, I was living the dream even for a second. Well, in high school, some of you in high school, I played volleyball, basketball, softball, track and field, and tennis. And I loved them all. But these are some things I remember were said in high school. Dot, you are way too short to play basketball in college. It's not going to happen. Dot, there's no way you're going to go from Florida to California to get an education. It's not going to happen. Dot, there's no way you're going to be a doctor, because no one in your family is a doctor, you might as well forget about it. And you think you're going to play for the United States of America, right? How many negative things do we hear every single day from people? You know what the problem is, ladies? You listen. And you not just listen to it, you take it to heart. You think that their view of you is more important than your view of yourself. Or either your view of yourself is very low. This is what I've noticed, girls in particular. Doesn't make sense to guys. They go, what? I see a 10-year-old boy, and he's not very good, and he thinks he's great. And I see a 10-year-old girl who's really good, and she thinks she's not that good. Okay? Blows my mind. You will get up in the morning and you'll look in the mirror and say, I wish I was taller. I wish I was thinner. I wish I didn't have freckles. I wish I did have freckles. I wish I had blue eyes, not brown eyes. I wish I had brown eyes, not blue eyes. I wish I had curly hair instead of straight hair. I wish I had straight hair instead of curly hair. I wish I had blonde hair instead of brown hair. I wish I had black hair instead of... Are you kidding me? I hope if you remember one thing about what I've said to you, is I pray that you wake up in the morning and look in the mirror and say, God, thank you for my life. Thank you for who I am and who you've made me to be. And thank you for the opportunities you're going to give me. Because the tough times are going to make you stronger. Life is not easy, and I'm telling you this. Those of you that think life should be easy, you need to wake up. It's time to grow up. It is time to grow up. Because life is about just opportunities and challenges. You've heard it so far. You're going to hear it again. You need to say, whatever you're giving to me, Lord, I know I can handle it because you never would have given it to me in the first place. And I am going to be a witness for others. Right? I know that somebody else is going to go through exactly what I'm going through. The wounds that I have, they're going to feel it, and I'm going to be there for them. And let them, help them get through it. Because I've been able to do it. Well, the other thing I want to share with you about the first story is Sunday Brown, who I played catch with. Guess what? She was not asked to play for that fast pitch softball team. It blew my mind. She's a great athlete. The next year, when Title IX came into effect in our neighborhood, Sunday Brown became the first girl to play Little League baseball. See, each of you have a purpose and a direction. All of us have different paths in our lives, and it's all good. Well, when I graduated from high school, while everyone else was partying, I jumped on a jet, flew to Colorado Springs, the Olympic Training Center, and I made my first USA team. They said it couldn't happen. I was 17. We went to San Juan, Puerto Rico, won a gold medal for the United States of America at the Pan American Games. Since then, I've been all over the world for the United States. You'll never play for the United States. Well, been in Japan twice, China, Taiwan, New Zealand, Australia 4 times, Venezuela, Puerto Rico, Holland, England, Canada, Argentina, and England played for the United States. Okay? They said it couldn't happen. I did go to UCLA. I went to UCLA and I played softball, and for 2 years, a lot of people didn't know this, I played basketball. Oh, you're too short, you'll never play basketball in college. While at UCLA, my senior year, I shared the All-University Athlete Award with Jackie Joyner-Kersee. She's considered one of the greatest athletes of the century. Does that mean I'm like number 3 or whatever? Nobody. So Jackie Joyner goes to the Olympics to fulfill her dream, her destiny. But softball was not in the Olympics yet. So what happened? I went to Adelphi University where I coached for the first time and got my master's degree. Then I went to medical school at the University of Louisville in Kentucky and became an MD. Then after my medical school training, I went to do my orthopedic surgery residency in Los Angeles, this time at USC. And after my 5-year orthopedic residency program, I did a 1-year sports medicine fellowship, working with the Dodgers, the Lakers, the Sparks, the Mighty Ducks, the Avengers, the Kings, the Galaxies. Then I got married after the 2000 Olympics, and my husband, Bob, and I got married at Disney World. I knew he was the guy when he wanted me to get it. But anyway, we started our life together in Claremont, Florida, right outside of Orlando. And I started my practice as a surgeon. I knew I'd be an administrator one day, and sure enough, I started my administrative duties as an executive director for South Lake Hospital, affiliated with Orlando Regional. I ran a 150-acre sports health and education facility with Lake Sumter Community College down there as well. And next thing I know, there was a change in the CEO after 14 years. And I got called in the office and he said, here's your 6-month termination notice. And in the same breath, he said, we want you to form a not-for-profit and we're going to hand over the softball facility that I raised $3 million for to build. And I was like, what, really? And my first thought is, God's got a plan. So I got my not-for-profit in order. My attorney got all that settled with the IRS. And next thing you know, I was asked to run for mayor and county commissioner for Lake County. So I decided to run for county commissioner. And when they found out I was interested, they wanted me to consider in 5 years running for U.S. Senate for the state of Florida. Well, I knew God wanted me to get into politics. I thought, gave it to him, I'll never forget, 11:30 at night. How can I serve you more, Lord? Whatever it is, all I pray is you make it perfectly clear, like there's no doubt. At 9 o'clock in the morning, I received a phone call from the athletic director of the largest Christian university in the world, Liberty. He said, our previous softball coach is retired. We're looking for a coach who could replace him. And as we're talking, wanted to put Liberty softball on the map. We want to build a stadium. We'd like for you to design it. I said, sir, you may not realize this. I have never head coached in college before. And he said, we realize that, but we feel the Lord is bringing us to you. 5 world championships, 5 Pan American Games, 2 Olympic gold medals, NCAA Player of the Decade for the 80s, 16-time ASA All-American, all of those, but I thought the sport was behind me, and here I am now, coaching at the largest Christian university in the world, to glorify the Lord in competing and giving opportunities for young women as student athletes to get a great education and to glorify Him, hopefully at the top level of our game. So that, in brief, is my story. And I tell you, it started after graduating from UCLA. The only job I could get was delivering pizza. You talk about Long John Silver's, I'm delivering pizza. And as I'm delivering pizza, see, God has a sense of humor, but He does things to wake us up. I didn't want to pursue medicine because everybody said it's going to take too long. It takes a long time. You're not going to want to do it. And delivering pizza, I realized 4 months into it, I could have 4 months of my first year of medical school over. So I'm telling you, just keep your eyes and ears and your heart open to what your passion is, and to also realize when something happens to you, even as traumatic as it might seem, or dramatic as it might be, everything is happening to you for a reason, and for you to conquer, and to be strong, and to drive exactly where you're meant to be.
That was good stuff. I just thoroughly enjoyed that. I've enjoyed everybody's story. And you know, I found that I've got something in common with everybody, and I know you too as soon as I hear your story. But Pat, I'm like you and Sheila. I've got an accent too. I'm a little southern, but I'm okay. And Sheila, Vivian, and Trinae, I'm like them. I went to Central Virginia Community College, and I got my associate degree here. That's where I got my start. And Doc, like you, I was a tomboy growing up, and I could throw that baseball, softball, and I could out-Indian wrestle any boy in my class. And I found out, though, that the boys didn't like to be beat, you know, so I let up on them a little bit. But what I want to do is tell you a little bit about who I am and how I got where I am. I'm Muriel Mickles, and that's like pickles, but it's got an M in the front rather than a P. And I'm the Vice President of Academic and Student Affairs here at CVCC. First of all, I want you to know that I come to work every day, and I am happy getting here. My day is always exciting. I am never bored. It is always something interesting. I found my passion, and this is what it is. It's all about education and working with people. But this job, as the Vice President of Academic and Student Affairs, I have the opportunity to meet with students every single day, the faculty that teach the students every single day, the staff that support the faculty that teach the students every single day, and the administration who work with me side by side to make a difference to these students and the faculty and the staff that I work with every day. I could not have a better job. Now, let me tell you how I started out though. I am one of 5 children, and I come from a poor family. And I'm a country girl. In my time, when ladies were growing up, there was only 2 professions that ladies would go into. That was either nursing or education. You're going to either be a teacher or a nurse. That is, if you got the opportunity to go to college. Now, I might be a little bit older than some of the ladies here on the panel. In my day, it was important that you finished high school. And notice I said high school. I didn't even mention college. In my day, I watched my parents, like Trinae said, I watched them get up and go to work and work really hard. But the work was to put food on the table, to put a roof over the head of these 5 children. But nobody really went to college, and there was no one in my family that was ever a college graduate. So college was not a big deal. The thing was you finished high school, you married your high school sweetheart, you got a job at a place called General Electric or B&W at that time. That's what you did. And if you did that, you were doing good. And then you went on to have your first child and so forth and so on. I was a little bit different from many of my contemporaries at the time. Many of my high school colleagues graduated high school and did exactly that. They went exactly on that path. But I just wanted something else. I knew that I loved school. I loved school. I did well in school. I excelled, and I wanted to be in school every day. And I want you to know that I did find me a job while I was in school every day. That's what a vice president does. They come to school every day. But I didn't follow the traditional path. I didn't want to just graduate high school, get married, so forth and so on. And yes, I did marry my high school sweetheart, but in the meantime, there was something called a community college that opened a year or 2 before I graduated high school. It was a new concept. It was right in our community, and then it was cost effective. It was inexpensive. And I found out you could get classes here and you could transfer on to 4-year colleges and save just tremendous amounts of money. So I thought I was going to try this community college. Well, again, keep in mind, my background is that college was not important.
So if you didn't finish it, I think, well, you still got GE to work at and B&W. So what I did is I tried the community college. I came here and I started taking classes. Now I was not smart about time management at that time. And I thought I could work a 40-hour-week job, and I could come and take 18 credits at the community college. Now let me tell you, young ladies and gentlemen that's in the audience, that was not smart. I was awfully tired. And I did not, my light was not shining at that time because I was working too hard, taking too many classes, so my transcript did not look like the smart individual that I was. So I thought, I can't do this. So I did that maybe a semester or two, but I decided I cannot do this. In the meantime, by the way, I'm working at a sock factory. Long John Silver's would have been a treat. But I was making socks and hosiery, and I worked on the second shift. So I was working from 3:30 to 12 with these machines that made these little funny stockings and socks and so forth. And I knew, like some of my other colleagues here, that this was not something that I wanted to do. And so I decided I needed to do something else. I dropped out of Central Virginia Community College as a pre-education or pre-teacher curriculum, and I decided I'm going to take a computer class. So I took a computer auxiliary operations equipment certificate program. And that program got me a job in the records office, and I started there working with something called a key punch machine. Nobody in this room knows what that is, but maybe, okay, we got one or two. But that got my foot in the door. Once I got in the door, I kept looking around, and I thought to myself, look at her. She is doing this job that's making more money than me, and I know I can do that. And I looked over here and I think, look at her. I can do that. Or look at him. I'm sure that I can do that. And then I always had the desire to do better. I knew I was smart. But then working these 18 hours, I'm taking 18 credits and working full time shook my confidence just a little bit. Maybe you're not so smart as you thought you were. But I didn't realize I was just not managing my time. There's a limit. Anyway, to make a long story short, what I did is after I started working at CVCC with this key punch operation machine, I decided to go back to college, but I decided to do it part-time. Instead of going full-time and trying to do everything at one time, I decided I do not have to be a superwoman. I could be a regular person, work the job, take classes, and still excel. And once I got that down pat, then I went back to college while working full-time at CVCC. And I got my associate degree taking 2 classes at a time. In the meantime, I married that high school sweetheart. And I was even expecting that first child after a while. But when I graduated right before I had my first baby. So I got a promotion at Central Virginia Community College, worked a little while longer, kept looking around and saying to myself, look at that job, I'm interested in that job. I'm interested in advising. I love working with people. That is my passion. I'm good at it. I can connect with them. I can engage. I want to be in a position where I can do that. So I went back to school, worked, after I got my associate degree, went back to Lynchburg College to work on the bachelor's degree. And I worked two classes at a time, so you know it's going to take time. And one thing you got to have is perseverance too in this journey. And don't let obstacles, like she was saying, don't let little bumps in the road and little side roads throw you off your game. Keep pushing forward and don't be afraid. One thing that I had to overcome was being fearful of the unknown, doing something that I had never done before and not knowing how it's going to turn out. But if you've nothing ventured, nothing gained. If you don't ever reach out and try, you'll never get there. So I had to overcome that fear of what if? What if? The only thing to fear is what? Fear itself, right? So what I did is went on for that bachelor's degree, got that bachelor's degree. It took me a while, taking 2 classes at a time, and I got a job as an educational advisor here at Central Virginia Community College. That was something that I absolutely loved with passion. Working with students, helping them to realize the value that they have in themselves letting them see that you are worthy, you are valuable, and let us see how we can get you to the finish line. So I work with hundreds, thousands really, of students as an educational advisor, working with them. But I thought I still have a desire to reach forward, to reach farther. I went back to Lynchburg College and I got a master's degree. And by the way, by this time I had a second baby when I had my bachelor's degree, and was expecting a third baby when I was going to the master's degree, but it's a lot of time in between them, because I'm taking 2 at a time. But I went on back and got the master's degree. And once I got the master's degree, I thought what I could be now is I could be even more valuable an employee here at CVCC or wherever there might be an opportunity as a counselor. So, and an opportunity came open here at Central Virginia Community College, and I applied for that job. And I got that job as a counselor, and that was one of my most favorite positions here at CVCC, because I literally worked with thousands of students, helping them find their way, helping them on their way, helping them to realize the value, like I said, that they have in themselves. And lastly, as I moved along in my journey, an opportunity for a dean came open. And I was working on my doctorate degree at that time. And I think that I had finished that doctorate degree at the University of Virginia. And when the opportunity came up, there was an opportunity. It was 2 people that had gotten that doctorate degree at the same time, me and a man. And at this particular time, for this particular position, I was overlooked, and the man got the position. And I went to my supervisor and I asked him, I said, why is it that you did not even consider me, that you did not talk to me about the position and see where I was coming from? And he looked at me and he said, well, you know, I never thought of you in that position. I've always thought of you as a counselor. But I thought a lot of times, ladies, one thing we have to do is to speak up for ourselves too, because how did he know, or how would he have ever known that I was interested in a position in administration had I not told him that? So the next position that came up, and yes, God works in mysterious ways, there was a pathway for me that was open, the door that was open, and I went into a dean's position. And again, I'm still making a difference. I'm still in school, still, like I said, I love being in school, but I'm still making a difference in the lives of the faculty, the staff, the students, the administration, still making a difference. So I did that for several years. And my last stop was the stop that I am now. Now, I want to tell you a little bit about getting the doctorate, though. When I got my master's degree, I said to myself at that time, that's it. That's as far as I'm going to go. I've done enough. I've worked really hard. I'm tired of doing these 2 classes at a time and falling my way to the finish line, because that's what I did. I'd take a step or 2, I'd fall. Take a step or 2, a family issue would come up. You stop. You take a step or 2, but I failed my way all the way to that finish line. But then I thought, that's it. But then an opportunity presented itself that I could not refuse. There was an opportunity to work on a doctorate degree with the University of Virginia, and they would actually come to Central Virginia Community College and do some of the classes here. So I could not turn that opportunity down. So I went to the University of Virginia, and I got that doctorate degree in administration and supervision. And lastly, another opportunity came up for me. This one was a vice president of academic and student affairs. Now, I never thought that little old Muriel Ann Brown Nichols from Lynchburg, Virginia, little old country girl that graduated from Campbell County High School, would ever be considered for the position as a vice president of a college. I never even dreamed that. But I knew there was always something for me to do, and I always followed that passion. I followed the dream, and the dream led me to where I need to be. So this is where I am at Central Virginia Community College, in a position that I am very, very happy with. One that, like I said, I love school. I love being in school every day, and that's why I am here. But it has been a journey. I've left out a lot because I can't tell you about it. It's going to just take too long. It's going to take too long. But I want you to know there was many, many obstacles, many, many challenges, many things that I had to overcome. But I did it. and it's because of education. Ladies, I want to tell you all that one thing you must have in order to compete is you must have an education. You must get a credential of some kind. Ladies, you must speak up for yourself. You must know that you do not have to be a superwoman, but you got to be a woman that takes good care of herself. So ladies, if I, at Central Virginia Community College, can do anything to help you, let me know. Thank you.
Well, listening to these folks, I've been sitting here wondering, so what have I done lately? I also am looking at the clock, and there's pressure. I'm the last one, so I feel like I'm back in cleanup, which is not easy to do with Coach Richardson here at the table, but let me try to be great. I have an accent as well. It's from Wisconsin, so if you want to talk about beer, brats, and the Packers, we can visit after today's session. So my journey is similar to the gals here. I did have opportunities, and I'm contrary to Coach Richardson, I'm tall, can never hide anywhere, and everybody's looking at me. So I'm 6'2", and people look at you, what are you going to do? And you feel this pressure on you at all times. So as an athlete, in my day, I certainly was not Olympian caliber, but I found my niche. It was basketball, volleyball, and speed skating. My speed skating started, which is north of Milwaukee. I had the opportunity and was invited to go to the Olympic Training Center, and I regret that. But along the lines, we had a community race, a little village, and I was getting all the blue ribbons. And for those of you that aren't athletes, blue's the top. It's like a gold ribbon. And I was kind of getting bored with all the blues. And so I decided to dog it one day to get a red one, and I wanted a white one. And needless to say, I heard from my mother. And it was at that moment I realized the competitiveness and her demand of making sure we do our best. And from there, I started thinking about athletics. And the only thing I knew and was good at was sport. So what did we do at the time that I was growing up? Much like Coach Richardson, we didn't have the opportunities, and so my dream was the only thing I knew, teach physical education, and you had to do that by going to college and to be a coach of some sport. So I went to Wisconsin Stevens Point, was a two-sport athlete there, never won a national title, but finished 6th, and was very proud of that accomplishment. And so I finished at the top of my class, and it was at the time that there were a lot of physical education teachers in the market and not enough jobs, and I was not hired. I didn't understand what that was all about, so I relied on my minor, which was recreation. So I became a park ranger, a lifeguard, I coached Special Olympics, I became an official, did everything you could, but going into the restaurant industry, I knew that's not what I wanted to do. And so I made sure I didn't do those things, even though people encouraged me. That's where some jobs were. I just knew I would not be good at it, but I did everything else. And I accepted a job as an assistant recreation director at a municipality and realized I did not want my boss to be the local plumber. And so it was after 5 years, and part of the programming there, I had to do everything from kindergarten, swimming lessons, to senior citizen programming. And surprisingly enough, those populations are more similar than they are different. And I started thinking about my future. Is this what I want to do? I was not married, still not married. So single with dogs, how do I travel? Where do I go? What do I do? Rely on your friends, rely on your family. What advice can they give you? And they encouraged me to enroll in my master's degree at the University of Richmond, where I fell in love with the state of Virginia and azaleas, as I mentioned before. And from there, that's where I started thinking about college athletics and what role, where can I coach, where can I be an administrator, and that took me to Elizabethtown College in Pennsylvania. Had the dream of coaching volleyball with a friend of mine, which we did for several years, and made sure I placed myself in positions of having supervisors that I know I would learn from, that I could grow from, and advance from moving there. When I was there, I started as an intern. I left after serving as the interim director of athletics, and Elizabethtown College did not have football. And so for me to advance to go on to another institution, I was overpassed or overlooked because I didn't have football. Now in reverse, if a male had applied for a position they didn't know about the sport of volleyball or softball, they certainly would be hired. Role reversal, if I didn't know anything about football, it didn't matter how great I was as an administrator, I was not going to be hired. So I intentionally, from a career choice, made sure my next stop was a program that had football. It took me to Southern California, which was a beautiful place to live. Expensive, but beautiful.
Traffic.
Yeah, traffic. And you know, from that experience then as an associate athletic director, I wasn't coaching any longer, and I knew that that's what I wanted to do. It provided me the skill set so I would not be overlooked the next time. The next position brought me then to Cornell College in Iowa, which was great to be close to my family. They had football. I was the first full-time athletic director there and the only female in our entire staff. So they look to you again. Remember, I'm 6'2". Not only is that unique, but I need to speak on behalf of all female athletes, know everything. And you can imagine how different we all are, but because we're female, we should be able to talk about the entire species. So there becomes a lot of responsibility with that, and we need to take that seriously. We need to have a voice at the table because we will not have that opportunity without us at the table. So take that seriously when you are given opportunities to participate. I then got a little antsy again, and after about 5-6 years, I was like, what's next? And as I started looking at other opportunities across the country, I saw Randolph, who was going from an all-women's college to co-ed, and the opportunity to build. And what I've learned over the course of my career is I'm more of a builder than one who maintains programs. And I mentioned that only in that you need to start taking inventory of yourself. What are you good at? What are you passionate about? Where are those opportunities? Grab them. Apply for things that you may not check everything on the paper that's required, but I guarantee you the men will be applying for those jobs with half the qualifications you have. So you owe it to yourself to apply for those positions even though you may not check everything in the box. Make sure you do that. And you also need to be willing to move. So my quick career here, 27 years plus, I've lived in 5 different states, all leading to here at Lynchburg, which is a beautiful place to be. You need to challenge yourself, you need to be willing to move if you have the opportunity. Granted, sometimes your family ties and commitments don't allow you to do that, but challenge yourself, think outside the box, apply for positions that you dream about, or perhaps you don't have all the qualifications, and look for those mentors that can help you along the way. And I would challenge you to think about in your inventory, who are those people now, and how do you add to the list? I think you have 7 right here.
Wow.
Well, you have the chance. You're not going to have these ladies again. Yes, go ahead. What year were you in?
1996 in Atlanta, and 2000 in Sydney, Australia. Okay, I'm going to mention something way out there, but I think I need to. I'll never forget John, the first guy asked me to marry him. And when John proposed to me, before I could say anything, he said, and you don't want to keep playing softball, right? And you don't want to be a doctor, right? And I said, John, I don't want to marry you. And I said that because John, you really don't want to marry me. You want to marry who you want me to be. So ladies, surround yourself with friends who lift you up, who encourage you. Surround yourself with guys who support you. And you don't have to go searching because he's going to find you. The Lord is going to bring you together. And I see that in my brief career as coaching as this quest for love and acceptance. Sometimes you don't realize it's not really love, and they're not really accepting who you are if you're pretending to be somebody else. Okay, so words of wisdom.
We've had so many words of wisdom. Any other questions?
What's the question?
Does she own any other businesses?
I've been asked to franchise, I've been asked to open a business a tea room in Charlottesville, in Lexington, in Roanoke, and it's like, no, I'm here 7 days a week now. So I did that actually when I was in Virginia Beach. I did open another tea room in Hampton. And going under that tunnel every day and dealing with that, it was just like, this is not quality for me. So, I will not be opening another business.
Should we be hiring good managers
That's right.
to expand?
Can I just add, we're always women in process. We're always evolving, always learning, always in process. So don't let what you see as obstacles be your maximum point. Understand there's more out there. We always want you to live, work, and play in Lynchburg, so, find it all here. But just understand we're always in process. There's no wrong starting point, wrong finishing point. It's following the path that you feel led to follow. That's for you.
Ladies, do remember that there is nothing that we cannot do. As women, we are very versatile. We are very malleable. We can do anything that anybody else can do. So don't ever set any limits for yourself. Go for the goal.